All right, kids, are you ready to hear a story? Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was a young seal named Diamond. She lived with her parents in a house at the shore, in a magical, frozen land full of snow and ice and life. Like most of the children in her village, Diamond went to school, did what her parents told her, and had fun the rest of the time. One Saturday, she went with some friends to one of the many beaches nearby. It was a beautiful day, and there were all kinds of animals there. Family walruses lounging on ice floes, a pod of narwhal calves dolphining around by the icebergs, and a group of baby penguins. They were learning to fish, and oh, so cute. Diamond and her friends laughed and played, racing each other from pool to pool, playing underwater tag and hide and seek, trying to outslide each other on the ice, and trying not to run into those adorable little penguins. One of them even tried to follow them down an ice slide. His teacher was not happy. Kirby, get down from there. After a while, the seals got tired of playing and decided to sunbathe for a bit. All except Diamond. She still had plenty of energy, decided to search for pretty rocks on the seafloor. It was one of her favorite things to do. She had a huge collection back home. Her parents teased her that she had enough to build her own house, but that she wouldn't be able to live there because she was filled with too many rocks. The sparkle from the ocean floor caught Diamond's eye, and she dove down to check it out. She couldn't find whatever it was, but just as she was about to come back up, she saw one of the baby penguins swim all by itself. Not again! Those little rascals really were a handful. She wondered if she should do something. Maybe go tell his teacher? When she saw him disappear into a wall of ice. Where had he gone? She swam over, and there in the wall of ice was a tunnel. She could just see the little penguin disappearing around a bend. Where was he going? It could be dangerous in there. She swam after him as fast as she could. The tunnel soon got dark, but then it got light again. Diamond wasn't sure how. It was as if there was a glow coming from the walls themselves. And she could see a tiny little silhouette swimming ahead of her. The little penguin. He disappeared around another corner, and when she turned it, she found a wall of ice in front of her. But there was light coming down from above. She looked up, could see the water surface. Oh, good, she thought. The tunnel had led back to the surface, and the bright sun was shining down. The penguin must have gone up there. But when she swam up and her head popped out of the water, she got a shocking surprise. She wasn't outside at all. She was in a cave. And the light didn't come from the sun, but from candles and glowing crystals. The cave was full of them. It glowed and sparkled beautifully. She was dazzled by the colorful, dancing lights. It took her a second to realize that the little penguin was standing next to the pool looking at her. Doing her best to sound stern and teacher-like, she said, "Now, you know you're not supposed to be swimming off away from teacher." It was the same penguin from the ice slide. What was his name? Oh, that's right. "Let's get you back, Kirby." I'm sure she's very worried. Come along now. She thought she did a pretty good job and even put an extra serious look on her face. But Kirby just smiled at her. Diamond wasn't sure she liked the look of that smile. It was a little too mischievous. Uh-oh. Kirby spun around and took off, running down the cave, giggling. Kirby, come back!" she yelled. But it was no use. Diamond had no time to think. She climbed out of the water and ran after him as fast as she could. They flew down the tunnels, taking turn after turn. She wanted desperately to catch him before they got too far from the tunnel. But the little penguin was fast. She was having trouble just keeping up. Diamond tried to remember the turns they took, but it was tough. Not just because she was running fast and trying to keep an eye on Kirby, but because of the cave itself. She'd never seen anything like it. Every tunnel and cavern was full of beautiful crystals. They came in all shapes and sizes and colors. and every one of them sparkled and glittered. The walls, the floor, the ceiling, they were everywhere. She wanted so very much to stop and take a closer look, to find at least one she could take back home with her. It would be the prize of her collection. But unfortunately, she had a very naughty little penguin to catch, a very fast penguin. He started to pull away from her, and then she turned a corner and could no longer see him. She tried to run even faster, but her whole body ached. Fortunately, there was only one tunnel to run through, so she knew he must have come this way. Then she turned a corner. She was in a giant cavern with a narrow path and a dark abyss on either side. There weren't many crystals here. The path led upward. There at the top was Kirby. He stood next to a giant ice slide with a ramp at the bottom, and he had a look of awe and delight on his cute little penguin face. But Diamond had a look of horror. On the other side of the ramp was another cave. But between the end of the ramp and the lip of the cave, nothing. Just more dark abyss. He was too little. There's no way he would have enough speed. She sprinted towards him as fast as she could. Kirby! Kirby, don't do it! Don't do it, Kirby! Don't do it! She was screaming, desperate for the little penguin to listen. But of course, he didn't. He bent down to hop. That's when she saw it. Along the path, just a couple of feet past Kirby, was a black gem with gold veins like lightning. They glinted and glowed with their own light. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. Next to it, all the other crystals and gems she had ever seen were just ordinary rocks. She was awestruck. Diamond had never wanted anything so much in all her life. Kirby leapt. Diamond reached the top of the slide, and in that instant she saw two choices. She could take the slide right away, go after Kirby and try to do something, but she wasn't sure what, or she could just take one more step. Grab the diamond, it was small and would fit easily inside her mouth, and then go down the slide. It would only take a moment, a fraction of a second. Maybe she was wrong. Maybe Kirby was big enough. Maybe he could clear the gap and land safely in the cave. There was no way she could climb back up to the diamond, and no way she could find her way back from the tunnel they'd first come through. Not after that long chase. And then she remembered something else. Something sort of like a gem. Something rare. Something colorless that glittered and sparkled. Something sad. A tear from her mother's eye. She thought of Kirby's cute face and mischievous smile, and she knew that he had a mother and a father that loved him very much. Diamond sprang into action. Whoosh! She flew down the slide using her best technique. She had a lot of practice. But Kirby had a head start. Down they slid, Kirby giggling excitedly. Diamond doing everything she could to go faster. She was gaining on him, but it was not enough. He rounded the bottom of the slide and shot off the ramp. Diamond flew off a moment later. They sailed through the air. For a moment, Diamond thought Kirby really was going to make it, but when he reached the peak of his jump, he started to fall. There was no way. Diamond had enough speed that she was above him now. She could see the horrified, terrified expression on Kirby's face. No! She twisted and reached as hard as she could, reached down with her tail, and just before Kirby slammed into the wall, she flicked. Slam! Diamond hit the edge of the cave entrance. She scraped across the rocks, came to a stop. For a moment, she was dazed. She shook her head and opened her eyes. Kirby! Where was Kirby? And then she felt two warm, feather-covered flippers around her neck. A penguin hug. Now there were tears in Diamond's eyes as she hugged him back. Now the little penguin would not leave her side. They didn't go far before they found another water tunnel. After a short ways, the glow of crystals stopped. And a short ways further, they saw light coming down from above. It was a purple and pink light, and Diamond thought it must be another cave. But when her head broke the surface, she let out a bark of joy. They were finally back at the beach. It was sunset now, and the sky was beautiful shades of pink and purple. Diamond heard a cry from the shore. There were lots of penguins and seals gathered there. Kirby rode on her back as she swam. A crowd gathered around them. A whole search and rescue squad, Kirby's teachers, her friends, and lots more besides. 2 penguins rushed up to Kirby and held him in a tight embrace. Diamond watched as his mother shed a tear of joy, a tear of relief and happiness, a tear of love. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. That night, as Diamond slept, she dreamed. She dreamed of Kirby's mother's tear. It fell through the water but did not dissipate. It held together, gleamed, sank to the bottom, and wound its way through sand and stone. The way it moved, it was like it was being drawn to something. It seeped through a crack and fell through darkness. And then it landed. She was awestruck and overwhelmed and also afraid, but she could not look away. Then she woke up. Her eyes were still closed, but she could tell, even through her eyelids, that there was a bright, shining light. The diamond! But when she opened her eyes, there was nothing there. Just her plain, old, empty room. What did it mean? Did it mean anything? Was it just a dream? And then she slept and dreamed of rainbow flame.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.